Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yes, Senator.
Boy genius. So smart and so powerful that he thought he could command the tides. So smart and so powerful and so rich that he would go to meetings with serious people like Bill Clinton, like Tony Blair, looking like a slob, looking like a fourth runner-up to a John Belushi lookalike contest. And he thought it was cute. Where's Mr. Bankman-Fried today?
What's up, everyone? I'm Audrey, and welcome back to Congress Lens. You just watched a short snippet of Senator John Kennedy questioning Pam Bondi, and honestly, this is one of those moments that reminds you why political accountability still matters. Whether you agree with Senator John Kennedy or not, there is no denying the clarity, confidence, and conviction behind the message. Senator John Kennedy is not just talking politics here. Senator John Kennedy is talking about trust in the justice system, and that affects every single American. This video stands out because it challenges the idea that the Department of Justice should ever feel politically weaponized. It forces an uncomfortable but necessary conversation about fairness, precedent, and legitimacy in government. If you care about sharp political commentary, real accountability, and unfiltered reactions to Congress, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload from Congress Lens. Now, let's watch the full video.
Senator Cruz would be next, but he's not here, so I call on Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bondi, welcome. Congratulations. Can we agree that legitimacy is important to America's criminal justice system?
Yes, Senator.
Can we agree that legitimacy is important to the Department of Justice, which in part administers our criminal justice system?
Yes, Senator.
And if Americans come to believe that our criminal justice system or our Department of Justice is acting illegitimately, that makes Americans less likely to accept the results of that system, does it not?
Yes, Senator.
And that makes Americans less likely to follow the substantive laws that we pass that are administered by the Department of Justice. Isn't that true?
Yes, Senator.
And if that happens, we have chaos, don't we?
Chaos.
And the social contract is breached, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember a person by the name of Michael Avenatti?
Yes.
Several years ago, he was a media star here in Washington.
An attorney, correct?
Yes. He was a media star. And many members of our media loved him because he persistently bashed Donald Trump. And he was on TV every day. He was on CNN more than Wolf Blitzer. Do you know where Mr. Avenatti is today?
I believe he's sitting in prison, Senator.
He's in jail because he was a crook. And the Department of Justice helped put him there, didn't it?
Yes, Senator.
Do you remember a gentleman by the name of Sam Bankman-Fried?
Yes, Senator.
Boy genius. So smart and so powerful that he thought he could command the tides. So smart and so powerful and so rich that he would go to meetings with serious people like Bill Clinton, like Tony Blair, looking like a slob, looking like a fourth runner-up to a John Belushi lookalike contest. And he thought it was cute. Where's Mr. Bankman-Fried today?
I believe he is in prison, and I believe that's from the Netflix series I saw as well.
Because he's a crook. And who helped put him there?
The Department of Justice, Senator.
Can we agree that there's some really, really good men and women at the Department of Justice?
Many, many great men and women in the Justice Department, as well, Senator, as all the law enforcement agencies that fall within the Department of Justice. They're out there risking their lives, especially the law enforcement officers, every single day.
Can we agree, though, that there have been and may be today some bad people at the Department of Justice?
Yes, Senator.
We don't know for sure because for the last 4 years, the curtains there have been tightly drawn. But I think a minority of people there, have delegitimized America's criminal justice system. The most destabilizing act that I saw in the past 4 years, maybe in the history of the department, is when Attorney General Garland decided on the basis of dubious facts and untested legal theories to criminally prosecute a former president of the United States. And not only that, this is the special part. He decided to do it after the former president of the United States had announced that he was going to run against Attorney General Garland's boss, didn't he?
Senator, are you referring to going after a political opponent?
I think so. Now, this is one person's opinion. That kind of stupid takes a plan. And I say that because, number one, this is America. That had never happened before in America. That's the sort of thing that happens in a country whose Powerball jackpot is 287 chickens and a goat. It doesn't happen here. And I call it stupid because it broke the seal. It broke the seal. It normalized it. There are a lot of ambitious prosecutors in America, Democrat and Republican. And I'll bet you right now there's some prosecutor in a particular state thinking about, well, maybe I ought to file criminal charges against President Biden's inner circle for conspiring to conceal his mental decline. And that's the road we're headed down. And you've got to fix it, Counselor. You've got to fix it. And here's, in my judgment, what I would ask you to do. Find out who the bad guys are and the bad women and get rid of them. Find out who the good people are and lift them up. But do it on the basis of facts and evidence and fairness. Because the temptation of some people is going to be, they're going to tell you, look, two wrongs don't make a right, but they do make it even. Don't resist that temptation. help us restore legitimacy to the Department of Justice.
Thank you, Senator.
Now that we have watched the full hearing segment, I want to say this clearly. Senator John Kennedy made one of the strongest arguments about justice system credibility that we have heard in a long time. What stood out most to me is how Senator John Kennedy framed this as bigger than party politics. This was not just about Donald Trump. This was about whether Americans can still trust the Department of Justice to act fairly and without political bias. The point about legitimacy is critical. If people believe the justice system is being used as a political weapon, public trust begins to collapse. And when trust collapses, it does not just hurt politicians. It hurts ordinary citizens who depend on the legal system to be fair and equal. The examples Senator John Kennedy used, like Michael Avenatti and Sam Bankman-Fried, were effective. They show that the Department of Justice can do its job well when it focuses on genuine corruption and real criminal behavior. That reinforces the idea that there are many capable and honorable people inside the DOJ. At the same time, Senator John Kennedy did not ignore the problem. Senator John Kennedy acknowledged that bad actors may exist within the Department of Justice, and that certain decisions, especially prosecuting a former president who had already announced a campaign, risk creating a dangerous precedent. And honestly, that concern makes sense. If one administration normalizes going after political opponents, what stops the next administration from doing the same? That is how you end up in a cycle of political retaliation, and that is not healthy for democracy. That leads to instability, not justice. What I respect most is that Senator John Kennedy was not calling for revenge. Instead, Senator John Kennedy called for fairness, evidence-based decisions, accountability, and restraint. The message was not about fighting fire with fire. The message was about restoring integrity and protecting the credibility of the justice system. Senator John Kennedy is essentially warning that if the justice system turns into a political battlefield, everyone loses. And honestly, that is a warning more leaders should be willing to say out loud. If you want more reactions breaking down congressional hearings, political accountability, and major political moments, drop a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Congress Lens. I'm Audrey, and I will see you in the next one.